You know, one could say that they were getting away from the fire, and that's why they were in the front towards the partition. And you could also probably say that they were trying to get out as well.
Joining me now is the driver of that limousine and one of the 5 people who made it out of that limousine, Orville Brown. Mr. Brown, do you mind if I call you Ricky?
No, that's fine.
How are you?
I'm okay, just really trying to get through a very horrific experience.
I can't imagine. Help me understand. I want to begin at the beginning. How many women did you pick up Saturday night, and where did this whole limo ride begin?
I picked up 9 women. Began in Alameda. We were driving. Everybody was, you know, joyous. Just beautiful ladies, beautiful occasion. You know, I was happy for them. We turn on. We get on the bridge and everything's fine. We're going over the span where it's elevated. And one of the ladies knocked on the partition and she said, "Smoke." And I figured that she was asking if she could smoke a cigarette.
How loud was she? Let me stop you. This tapping and okay. Hearing smoke. Was there music in the back of the limo? How well could you hear her?
There was music on, but I heard her. She was right up by the partition. I figured that she was asking if she could smoke a cigarette. I said, "Well, we only have 4 more minutes, and you know, the boss doesn't allow us to smoke in the limo." About 30 seconds passes, and she knocks again. And I look back. You know, this time I'm kind of concerned. I smell smoke. I look back, and I just saw the grief, the anguish, the grief on her face. And then I started smelling smoke. I started seeing smoke. So we pulled over. It was kind of, it's kind of frustrating, kind of scary. I'm driving, and we pull over, and there's, it's nowhere really to pull over. So we're in the lane. So I'm, looking back and making sure that everything's safe. As soon as I pulled over, one of the ladies hops through the partition. I unlocked the doors.
At what point? Forgive me. Let me just stop you. At what point did she roll the window down? Did you roll the window down quickly, immediately realizing that it was smoke and she was trying to get out?
No, the partition was already down by that point. I opened the door. The lady hops through the partition, and at that time there's 2 cars, one in front of us, I believe, one in back of us, and these guys are trying to help. As I see the ladies coming through the partition, I'm trying to use the phone. I can't use the phone. I'm shaking. I'm nervous. By this time, someone had opened up the rear door, and the limo was engulfed in flames in the rear. There was a lady coming through that I got stuck. I pulled her out, and then one more got out. And it's just, it was horrific, just something that I never imagined, never would imagine to happen.
So you're, Ricky, out of the limo. You're helping one woman come through. How many women were you able to help?
One or two. Everything happened so fast. By the time the back door was open, the half of the car, when that back door opened, it just burst into flames,
Who opened? Let me hear this again. Who opened the back door, and did you see any of the women trying to get through that back door instead of the glass partition in the front?
I believe the first lady that came out opened the back door, but it could have been one of the guys, because I remember 2 people going to the back door at different occasions, but there were so many flames and everything happened so fast, and that's basically what I remember. Everything happened so fast. It was just a very scary situation.
What were you hearing? Were you hearing screams?
What I heard was us outside. We were crying and screaming and nervous, and that's all I can remember, ma'am.
How fast was it between the time you got out and several of the women were able to climb over that partition before this entire car burst into flames?
I say maybe 30 to 60 seconds at the most. Maybe, no, 30 to 60 seconds.
That quickly. And we know that 4 women were able to get out. The others did not. And so as they were being rushed to the hospital, Ricky, did you go to the hospital? What did you do Saturday night?
No. I sat in the police car and talked to the CHP officers after the incident. I was the first one out of the car. Sat, cried, prayed, just wishing that something different could have been done.
How long have you been driving limos?
For this company, 2 months. I've never driven a limo before this, but I have. I've been in the transportation business before. I've driven airport shuttles for 2 different companies.
In your time driving, Ricky, had you ever had an experience involving an accident, certainly not of this magnitude, but involving a fire? Had you ever known anyone to have this happen to?
No, never. This is first experience like this.
Now, with the flames, we know that, as you point out, that they were coming from the rear of this particular vehicle, and some reports are indicating that maybe the flames came from the trunk. Did you check out the trunk before you drove this car? What do you make of those claims?
No, we didn't check. I didn't check out the trunk. I did stop and get some ice and put in the ice trays on the inside, but there were, no indications of anything that, of that nature.
This is a 1999 Lincoln Town Car. Do you know if it was regularly checked, maintenance, etc.?
I do know. I drive the limo once usually on the weekends. Okay, I usually drive a town car during the week or a Suburban. Now, as far as the town car and the Suburban, we take in regularly because I'm behind the wheel of those, every day. Every 3,000 miles, we have to maintain we do an oil change, and we also we change the transmission fluid. As far as the limousine, I believe the owner does that.
So was there anything to your knowledge that was awry with this car before you hopped in the seat on Saturday?
No, not at all.
And let me also just ask, when you were driving this limo and you're crossing this bridge and you're minutes away from this final destination and you hear the tapping on the partition, were you listening to music?
No.
Were you on your cell phone?
No.
I have read that your brother has been quoted that you keep saying that you could have done more, you could have done more. Do you still feel that way?
I mean, you always, I think in this situation, you always would feel that you could do more. You could have done more. I don't know. It's just, everything happens so fast. I just wish that there could have been something done more. I don't particularly know.
What could that something have been? I'm sure you have played this back in your head, Ricky, so many times since Saturday. What could have been done differently? What could you have done differently, possibly?
I really don't know. If I would have known that, and everything happened so fast, but if I'd have known that she was saying, smoke and sit, okay, I want to smoke a cigarette, maybe 30 seconds, 60 seconds would have been spared. But everything happened so fast. I really don't know. Everything happened so fast.
When you were outside of the limo and you're watching it burst into flames and you're with some of these other young women and you said you're all crying, what were they saying? We were horrified, I called 911. It took me about 5 minutes to actually get them on the phone. We were shaking. Other people were trying to call. We were just, horrified, nervous, scared. It's windy, it's cold, and to watch this long limousine just engulf in flames, it was just a nightmare. Can you describe some of their injuries for me? Were they burned at all?
The four, I didn't see them burned at all.
Ricky, I understand you've been in touch since Saturday with some of the victims' families. Is that correct?
No. I haven't talked to anybody's family.
Do you plan on reaching out?
Reach out. Yes, I would like to reach out to them personally. We're sorry that this happened, and I can't even imagine what you're going through. But what I would like to extend to you is that I'm taking a couple weeks' pay and putting it towards my foundation. We're going to do a fundraiser for you guys because something has to be done. But also, what I would like to say is that there's two things that I think the legislature needs to do, or we as a people need to get the legislature to do. I'm sorry. One is that after we called 911, and no disrespect to the fire department, that's their protocol, but it took them about 30 minutes to get over that long bridge. I know the San Mateo Bridge is a long span. We have 3 long bridges in the Bay Area: San Mateo, the Dumbarton, as well as the Bay Bridge. The legislature needs to institute that there should be a substation on those bridges, at least at the bottom of the bridges, because they had to come all the way from Foster City. They passed us up, had to go into Hayward and come back. So we watched them, 2 fire trucks pass us up. The other thing is the safety on limousines. There has to be some better regulation.
You said 2 things I want to follow up on. One was you mentioned your foundation, then you mentioned raising money for some of the families. So if I have this correctly, as you mentioned, you've been driving this limousine for 2 months. The reason why you were driving this limousine was because you're starting a foundation for at-risk youth in, is it the San Jose area?
Yes.
So you wanted money to be able to help kids, and now you're saying you want to help the victims' families with several of your upcoming paychecks.
We have to. And not just that, I'd like, we'll have the website up pretty soon, and I just want people to, something has to be done, I know it's not going to bring back the ladies, but we have to do something for the families.
Ricky, I know you've been just dealing with these limousines for 2 months, but what do you think caused this fire?
I'm really not sure. I know it wasn't gas related, and the car didn't blow up. It just engulfed in flames. The smells that I smelled carpet, I smelled wiring, I smelled plastic. I mean, to me, in my opinion, it probably was electrical.
I just want to read a statement from your limo company. This is Limo Stop Incorporated, and they say also they will do everything possible to investigate and assist authorities in determining the cause of this fire in order to help bring forth answers and provide closure to the victims and their families. Ricky, before I let you go, you say you will continue driving because you want to raise that money for these families, and you do plan on reaching out to some of the victims' families.
Yes, to all of the victims, not some of them, all of them.
All of them. And again, what do you want people to know? What is your #1 message?
Well, I'm sorry personally, and my heart goes out to you. I feel for you. I wish there was something that I could tell you, because I know you guys are grieving as well as I am. But we're going to do something. We're going to, the little bit that we can do, we reach out to you with it.
What is the one image, Ricky, that when you close your eyes, you can't stop seeing?
Just everything. There's not just one image. There's a lot of different images. A lot of different images. The fire, us on the bridge screaming, them getting into the car. It's not one image. It's a lot of things.
Okay. Ricky Brown, thank you for spending all this time with me today. I appreciate it. Like I said, can't imagine what you're going through, and of course also these families of the young women who will never be coming home to them, horrendous. And I know you'll also be on Piers Morgan Live tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will watch for you there. Meantime, we will be right back.